Joining us now to discuss the report, Ronald Kessler. He is the author of The First Family Detail. Secret Service agents reveal the hidden lives of the president. Ron, we welcome you back to America's Forum with the acknowledgement that you were a prophet on this. You have been with us before, calling for just about everything this report is calling to happen. So you were right. How does it feel?
Well, I really fear that there's going to be an assassination regardless, because there's so much corner cutting. And given that, it's still hard to feel sanguine about all this. But you're absolutely right. These recommendations are right on. And number one is leadership that will change the culture that comes from the outside, that's not beholden to agents within the agency, and that will make a real difference. That's what you would do with any organization that's in trouble. You bring in a new outside CEO or director. It's not that complicated. You just have to get the right person. I think if they get someone with a track record of changing the culture, imposing accountability, you're going to be in a very good spot. And I'm proposing a former high-ranking FBI official. I'm not naming one because I might jinx it, but I think a former high-ranking FBI official would be just right, given the fact that the FBI has kept us safe since 9/11.
So, Ronald, do you think the organization will actually listen and act on those recommendations? And is there anything missing in those that you think needs to be included?
Well, this was a report to the Secretary of Homeland Security, Jay Johnson, and he has endorsed the findings, and he has the authority to make the changes because the Secret Service is part of DHS. So I think that will happen. The only question is who will they choose as director. Barack Obama has seemed to choose people whom he knows, who have protected him, so he feels grateful to them. That's why he chose the acting director, Joseph Clancy. But yet, look at what Clancy did when he testified on the Hill recently. He really was a spectacle, or an example of everything that's wrong with the Secret Service. He was asked, well, how come the Secret Service issued a statement saying that Gonzalez was apprehended at the door? And how come the Secret Service issued a statement saying that he was not armed? Those are lies. And this guy beat around the bush, covered up, said, well, that was inadvertent, there were just mistakes. And then he was asked, well, how do you know? And he said, I don't know. I don't know how this happened. So just an example of a cover-up mentality that has led to all these problems.
Well, Ron, worse than that, it sounds as if it's just a, quote, bureaucratic attitude, a bureaucratic mindset instead of a law enforcement security mindset. How on earth did the Secret Service deteriorate in this manner? You got about a minute to respond to that.
It really began to go downhill after DHS took it over in 2003, when it just became more political. It had to fight more for budgets. Of course, if they went to Obama and said, hey, we need twice the money, we're spending $1.5 billion a year, that's the price of one stealth bomber, and we're not only protecting the president, the vice president, but investigating counterfeiting and financial crimes, of course the president and Congress would go along with it. But they don't do that. They have this attitude of, we make do with less. They're actually proud to spend less money. They promote people into management who are obsequious, who will say everything is fine. It's just a really sick culture, and hard to believe. I've written books, as you know, also on the FBI and the CIA, and the caliber of management within the Secret Service is poor compared with FBI and CIA.
And Ron, for that reason, we're going to ask you to stay with us. I mean, when you predict an assassination attempt, that's something. God forbid that happens. Ron Kessler is coming back. You stay with us here on America's Forum.